Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review, Harry Potter and the whatever the fuck, the Chamber of Secrets, the second installment. Apparently, I'm not sure what year this was from, maybe 2004, I'm guessing, maybe 2003. In case you haven't been following the sequence, I've been reviewing all these fine films here in 2024, never having seen them before, for the most part. On the big screen, definitely never saw this one at all, and I can kind of see the appeal here. I mean, this whole promotion of these re-releases is being called Back to Hogwarts. So what this franchise has done, I'm sure you know this already because you're such an informed person, but they've basically created this fictional or alternative world of education on wizardry. And, you know, they sign you up for it, you know what I mean? And I remember years ago, the granddaughter of a coworker of mine was telling me all about the wonderful world of Harry Potter in great detail because she had some backpack that I complimented, and I thought it was from an actual school of some kind, but it wasn't. It was from one of the Harry Potter institutes at Hogwarts, and then she went on to explain in great detail all the different four classes and all these things and all the requirements and all the characteristics of the different classes and everything. So they kind of hook you in with this stuff. I have noticed that it's similar in a way of the marketing of the two-night WrestleMania experience these days. You know, because these days, it's not even a choice for a wrestling fan. You're either going to watch, you know, it used to be, will you watch WrestleMania or will you not? But now the choice is, which night was better, night one or night two? So whenever you can create some type of organism, some type of product, some type of movie or experience, and you make the fans choose not whether or not it's a good thing in itself, like a good entertainment or a good whatever, but choose point one or point two within the same thing. It's your same dollar if you're a Ravensclaw or a Hogglesmock or a Giffendorf or a whatever the fuck, a Sultan or a Snakenfeck or whatever the fuck, Slivensworth. It's your same money whether you identify with any of these schools. Now, I will say this, unless I'm missing something, it seems like the Ravenclaw and the Hop and Pop have kind of been dismissed in these first two films. They really haven't explored them as much as I would like, but I could be missing something. I don't know. So this Harry Potter, the first sequel in a franchise is very pivotal. The first sequel, in a lot of ways, determines, will this even be a franchise? Will there be a third? Will there be a fourth? I think people are more willing to forgive a paltry third film if the second film was somewhat decent. But if the second one was horrible, and I'll cite an example, the Highlander franchise, I don't think they ever got over the poor reception, the miscalculated Zeiss nonsense of Highlander 2, Michael Ironside, you know, it wasn't his fault, but just Highlander 2 was so disappointing for the Highlander fans. I don't think that franchise ever really took off as it could have had they had a really strong sequel released initially. They did go back and re-edit that thing into Highlander 2, the Renegade Cut, which was a lot better, but it's too little too late, folks. On the other side of the Sultan swing, Rocky 2, obviously. That's when Rocky actually gets the title. Spoiler, assholes. Godfather 2, I believe, still the only sequel to match the original film to get a sequel. I'm not a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings films, but I believe the third movie did win an Oscar, which seemed more like a culminative achievement for the three films. But going back to the two movie thing, Empire Strikes Back was the second film. That was very well regarded. Some, like myself, that's actually their favorite film of the whole Star Wars franchise. and so forth. So the point is, I can see where this Harry Potter movie did deliver the goods. I mean, and they really stayed for the most part at the institution of Hogwarts, although Harry and Ron, and I guess one thing I didn't realize in the first movie is that all these redheaded people are their family, the Willoughbys or whatever the fucks, and I guess is the idea that they're like the lower income family, like they're the lower wizard income family. I mean, why don't they just give themselves money? If all the kids are wizards, why not just make yourself a stack of gold? Like a fucking leprechaun or something. But whatever, plot holes. It was interesting. That poor, I can't say her name, the female lead, Emma Watson's character. It's like a hard name to say. Hard name to remember. It's not exactly Harry and Ron. It's like some difficult name. She gets kind of petrified, and that's kind of sad because I do think that dynamic of the three kids is nice. I must have missed something. I did have to take a facility vacation during this film, and I missed, was there some type of tension between Ron and her? Because at the end, they did not hug. They had like an awkward handshake. So I don't know if there was some type of kissy face or some type of argument. I guess, they have all these movies. I guess we're going to see these kids get older. And from what I understand, they kept the same core acting community, the same cast of actors. So we're going to see these little brats get into their teens and so forth. Like I said, it goes back to that Saturday Night Live skit with, what's-her-face, Lindsay Lohan as the Emma Watson character. So, I like this movie. I mean, it did have a whole lot of magical heapings. I mean, we have a flying car. Harry has shown a little bit of a heat seeker streak. Like when Radcliffe stares on somebody, he kind of has like the death glare. Like when he looks at his uncle, or he looks at this one, or he looks at that one. When he locks in on you, man, you can feel his little inner rage, like his little psycho killer inside of him. I did feel that the whole thing of like, hey, we might have to shut down the school. All the kids have to go back to their rooms at 6 o'clock. And then go straight to bed or whatever the fuck. It did feel like COVID foreshadowings. I know this movie was 10 or 15 years ahead of COVID, but it seemed like foreshadowings. I also thought the special effects in this one were greatly improved over the first one. The character that I did not like, but the audience that I saw this with, they seemed to like him. The little CGI servant guy, Goalie or Golly, whatever the fuck, he was like the Jar Jar Binks of this world. Like that seemed to me like him and Jar Jar Binks were very similar. I don't like either character. I don't like when they try to humanize some CGI character too much. I mean, it's horse shit. The attacking tree was pretty wild, like the vengeful tree, and the Wigaboos or whatever the fuck's, like then you pull the tree up from its root and it's all like got a human face, and then the blonde kid sticking his finger in his mouth, all this excitement. So I guess we discover that Harry, by all means, should be a Sliffendorf, a Slaven fuck, but, he didn't want to be. But, I mean, it kind of feels like Harry calls his own shots. I mean, once again, this whole thing where do not say the name of Voldemort, and I guess in this one, Voldemort kind of time travels, and he possesses Ron's little sister and all these things. But I guess in this one, once again, you're not supposed to say this asshole's name, but Harry says his fucking name, and the older gentleman, the Gandalf or whatever the fuck, he says his name. So do you say his fucking name or not? It's kind of like one of the Shakespearean plays. Is it, Julie, should I not say it? But I think the initials are H5, but you're not supposed to say the name of this play. But yet people always say it because they're like, oh, well, this is the name you're not supposed to say. Well, what is it? And then someone just tells you. So it's the same type of horse shit here. Like, you're not supposed to say his fucking name, except we always do. Okay, thanks, assholes. So I don't know. But I mean, the whole thing with Harry talking to snakes, I can kind of feel on that. I kind of dig on that. The 60-foot snake. Was that Kenneth Branagh? All these, you know, do you say British? Do you say English? Do you say UK? All these actors from the motherland. Someone's going to be in my goddamn parking spot, by the way, when I get home, so I'll be aggravated. But all these actors with their little British, you know, God save the Queen. Fine, fine. Oh, all these assholes that I have to deal with now. Jesus. God, fuck. House full of assholes that I have to deal with. Jesus, goddamn fuck. Reminds me how much I hate people. But yeah, all these fucks. So anyway, I did enjoy the film. I did think it was good. You know, I'm interested in seeing what happens next. Hada. Once again, Ron. Just, it's a funny name for a sidekick, I think. Just like it's like you just don't think of the name Ron as being very movie-ish. But here he is. So, good for him. Let's see if I can get into a parking spot here. Nope, I can't, because all these assholes have decided to take my parking spot. Fucking house full of assholes. It just reminds me how much I hate human beings. How much? I mean, I was hoping there'd be like 1 or 2 vehicles, but there's a house full of assholes that now I have to deal with. You know what I mean? Put on a smiley face, deal with these sons of bitches. You know, but it is what it is. All these pieces of shit that I have to deal with in my life. Not you. You're fine. So what else? I don't know. I mean, the Snape character continues. He's kind of a tweener, meaning he's kind of a good guy. He's kind of a bad guy. Our buddy there, what's his dick? The guy from Die Hard. You know, that's a nice character. I mean, it's interesting. So I'm interested in seeing how this thing goes. Now, I do know that the Doppeldupe, or whatever the fuck, the Gondelforth, doesn't, like, the actor die in real life, so he has to be replaced. Is that an actual thing? Or am I creating that? I think that's an actual thing. I mean, I guess that's part of the problem when you make these big, epic movies. If you're planning on, like, 6 or 7 movies based on all these novels, you have to, like, but you want to cast an old guy. Like, how old do you cast the old guy? Because if you cast him, you know, when he's in his 80s, and you're going to make 20 years worth of movies, I mean, you're kind of pressing your luck here, folks. You know what I mean? Circle gets a square, whammy, whammy. I mean, you know, so I don't know. But yeah, Radcliffe's a good little actor. I mean, I'm wondering how that audition process went for them to get this young Chad into these films. I mean, how did they know that he was going to be up for all these adventures? Now, can I park here, or am I going to get fucked? Goddamn assholes. Anyway, so that's your report. I mean, I did enjoy it. I did think it was a good experience. So yeah, day 2, folks. It's all happening. Theater was pretty well attended. It seems like enough people care about this horse shit to go out and see it. And I guess I did too. But once again, I will go back to the theater tomorrow. I think for the rest of this theatrical run, I'll be going to the same auditorium. I think for a couple of these screenings, I have like the special rock and roll chairs, like the roller coaster chair, the D-Box. I mean, now it just occurred to me, are these D-Box chairs even going to work for this film? So we'll see. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Good job, Harry Potter.